2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the Ring Generals podcast. My name is Nick Nina. Alongside me is Eric.
What's cooking?
And the RKJ Man.
Let's talk that talk, y'all. Hypocritical Nick. What's good, homie?
What's good? We have something to announce to begin this podcast.
Oh, we starting off the show
Breaking,
with this?
yes.
We got breaking news. Woo. You know, you watch news shows, and they're going to start with the biggest news. I know we're not talking about Becky Lynch getting taken out of WrestleMania.
The government did not get shut down yet, y'all.
Mm-hmm. We're not talking about Robert Whittaker's stomach exploding before his fight.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk more about that.
We'll talk
later.
about
His stomach exploded?
We'll add
He's,
that.
we'll get more in depth.
We're not
How
talking
much
about.
Golden Corral has he been eating?
He's from Australia. I don't. Oh, that could be. Yeah. But
should be
How much
another-
buffets?
we're not talking about AEW. We're not talking about any of that stuff. We're talking about the Ring Generals to start the show.
We're talking about us.
Yeah, we're talking
Us
about the Ring
selfish
Generals.
human beings.
And after
We promised you.
after a meeting last week pertaining a certain pay-per-view in April.
A verbal meeting that
A
way.
verbal.
It was not a verbal meeting.
I almost got into a fight with the RKJ man.
Possibly. Yeah.
I mean,
although
yeah.
that happens like every single day.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally,
So
we
that's not
almost
a
get
big
into
He
a
said some
fight.
blasphemous nonsense.
I didn't say
But,
no
but,
blasphemous
nonetheless,
nonsense.
we're
Bullshit.
trying to announce the announcement. You guys are arguing on the
He's talking
podcast.
some bullshit,
But
man.
the announcement is on April 7th, 2019, the Ring Generals will be at WrestleMania
Oh, yeah.
35.
We just hitting
35.
all of those buckets. All of those what is those things you call buckets?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man.
You know when you're talking about
WrestleMania
with
35 will
those
be
prize
there.
buckets, whatever. I don't know what
MetLife
the fuck.
Stadium, 5:30 start on the East Coast,
Yes.
2:30 start on the Pacific Coast.
We're gonna be there for 7 hours.
So we're going to WrestleMania. We'll be there from Friday night through WrestleMania.
Through
So
WrestleMania.
we will be promoting. We are officially on the road to WrestleMania like much of the WWE superstars currently right now.
And if you are friends with us, be sure to subscribe to the network in order to see us.
Exactly. Let
Yeah.
us know if you're going to be there too. We're going to be putting out so much content. We're going to be going to WrestleCon. We're
doing
gonna
a
be
lot of
doing as
shit.
We're
much
gonna
as possible.
meet a
We're
lot of
doing
people,
a lot
you know.
of stuff.
But
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
we will be at WrestleMania 35 in MetLife Stadium. We have the tickets. We are going to WrestleMania. So your guys' thoughts on this? We usually give thoughts about actual topics. But still, give me your thoughts, guys. What are you guys thinking? WrestleMania 35, we're going to be there. What do you think the people should know about the Ring General's presence during WrestleMania weekend?
Well, at first, it's not really hitting me right now. It won't hit me until the day before. And as soon as we get to the plane, we are on board the plane, that's when it hits me. But as far as that happens, if you are around the area, around New York, around New Jersey, if you see us with the Ring Generals t-shirts, because we are going to be representing the Ring Generals, be sure to talk to us. And if you're a wrestler, local wrestler around the area, doesn't matter, ring announcer, interviewer, it doesn't matter, referee if you have to be, we'll talk to you, and we'll do our best to try to do a podcast, and also maybe hopefully do our best to take pictures too, as much as we can.
Oh, of course.
You
Take
know?
pictures, video, anything?
Yeah, so what I meant to say is this is something off my bucket list. I'm just looking forward to being around the atmosphere. There's always a certain type of buzz when you go to WrestleMania. Like you're experiencing the crowd, the fans, the wrestlers, the media, all, the speculation, the rumors. And I'm just interested in being there amongst other people from all around the world. When we went to LA, it was cool because we could experience it with people from the United States, really.
Yeah.
Or pretty much North America. There were some people from Canada there. But at WrestleMania, it's a global event. You have people from China, Australia, Britain, wherever. And
Traveling
they're
all over the world, man.
traveling
Damn.
all over the world
Yeah.
to come and watch WrestleMania and what you want. We can criticize the WWE as much as we want to, and I've definitely done my fair share of criticism here. But I mean, WrestleMania is something that is just, no matter what, every year it's just something to behold, and I'm just happy to be going for the first time ever, starting in December, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going to a lot of events. I want to see a lot of independent wrestling there, meet some wrestlers, interact with them. and maybe tell a few wrestlers off, maybe like Real One or Priscilla Kelly. Hopefully she doesn't do something stupid.
I'm just right now. A lot of people they all talk about WrestleMania week. That's the big talk. As soon as we get to WrestleMania week, I hear about everything. Paul Heyman said it himself. He said that if you're not a wrestling fan, you become one during WrestleMania week. From what Paul Heyman said a couple years ago.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too because we had our own little kind of WrestleMania week last year. Obviously, it was kind of still the beginning of our podcast. We had only been doing it for 3 months, but we made our own WrestleMania week. We did Eric's special show,
Slammin' Sunday.
We did multiple shows that week.
I lost my wallet.
He lost his wallet.
Yeah.
One of the most memorable starts to a Ring Generals podcast ever. But this is going to be the real thing, and we're going to be in New York, in New Jersey. Anywhere that the wrestling crowd is. Not guaranteeing that we should go to every single show necessarily.
We won't.
We are going
We
to
won't.
WrestleMania. We will be at WrestleCon. Might try to get to WrestleMania Acts as well. We're not there for that many days, but we are going to be there
In the area.
for the main weekend. We'll be there for WrestleMania weekend, and we'll see. So we'll see what goes on. But we're excited to announce that we are officially going to WrestleMania 35. This is happening. This is not some BS that we're thinking about doing. This is happening like Survivor Series and like the people that met us at Survivor Series. Maybe we'll have to make a meet and greet party this time. You know what I'm saying? So
we have time. You know?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But so it's very interesting, and we're looking forward to it. But with that, we will move on to kind of the start of a real podcast. Now, speaking of WrestleMania, big revelations coming out of this week's Monday Night Raw, the February 11th Monday Night Raw. It was announced that Charlotte is now facing Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch is suspended for 60 days by Vince McMahon, kayfabe, at least I think. And we have a new women's title match. Now, we're not, of course, we're recording here on Tuesday before SmackDown Live, which would be February 12th, SmackDown Live. So if there are revelations with this rivalry, we could technically be wrong, just the way we record. We don't have a lot of time this week. But so guys, what is your I gave you your thoughts on WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on this turnaround? What are your thoughts about this new women's title match?
Well, all I know is that there's a Ryan Rance coming around. I don't know. I got that vibe.
Pseudo Ryan Rance.
There's a lot of Ryan Rants I could go with.
Yeah. Man.
What do you want to say, Eric? I don't want to hijack your time here.
There is somewhat of there's a lot of smoke into this. There is no way in hell that they are going to be having Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. I feel that it's still too early. Look, there are going to be two scenarios that can play out. Either one, Becky Lynch will find a way to get into that match and make it a triple threat match, because there's no way they're going to take off Charlotte Flair out of that. I don't even know if it's even going to be a main event. I'm pretty sure it's going to be turned into a triple threat match, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if you guys will like this, or they will continue this rivalry with Becky Lynch and Stephanie McMahon and go all the way to WrestleMania.
I mean, I have to agree with you with a couple things you said right there. I definitely think there's a chance it's a triple threat match. I definitely think there's a chance Becky Lynch goes after the Authority. And I actually agree with you when you said that I think it still will be booked as the main event of WrestleMania, but I don't feel like a triple threat match is the best case scenario here.
I know.
Or even Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey doesn't seem like the main event of WrestleMania anymore. I'd almost rather see Seth.
It doesn't feel. It just depends on how they build those two matches, how they build Lesnar and Rollins, and how they build this match with, now what we have is Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey.
It's just Charlotte Flair. She didn't win the Royal Rumble.
All right,
I know. We're getting all our stuff out of the way so you can just explode here.
Yeah, I'm getting
Just
ready.
Just unload, man.
Just
Hey,
let us
Nick, get ready
through it.
for an edit this week.
But mark down the times when it happens, Eric.
Yeah, so we're at
Because it's going to happen in a second.
9
Yeah.
9
I
minutes.
told you I was going to hold off until it needed to happen.
So
9:48.
Charlotte Flair. Now, although I'll tell you this right now, sorry, I just blew out the mic. that Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey was your prediction earlier in the year.
It was,
Okay,
actually.
J-Man. But the way they've booked Becky Lynch, we want to see Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. We don't want to see Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey.
Why are you talking
I don't
like
want to
that?
see Ronda Rousey. I don't want to see Charlotte anywhere near this damn main event. She lost the Royal Rumble, didn't beat Ronda Rousey in
Don't
Survivor
worry,
Series.
don't worry, Nick. Triple H said it himself. He said that we're the authority, right?
I guess so, but Vince not only picked Charlotte Flair to be in that match, he raised her hand and endorsed her to win the match. Because I guess he doesn't like the attitude of Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. So is this Vince McMahon versus Triple H? Is this some weird McMahon family WrestleMania moment? I don't know, but I'll tell you this right now. I know you don't like it, Eric. I know I don't like it. And I sure as hell know that the RKJ man doesn't like it, and we'll give him the floor right now.
This is so. Here's the issue here. Okay, I need whoever is writing for Becky Lynch.
Can this be right? You want this to be right?
No,
man?
this isn't Ryan Rants.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Whoever is writing for Becky Lynch, I hope I see them so I can punch their ass straight in the face. The fact of the matter is this:
Get
they
sued.
have been. Mark the time, Eric. They've been fucking up
11 minutes.
Becky Lynch's character ever since the Royal Rumble. First of all, you make her tap to Asuka. Stone Cold Steve Austin never tapped to Bret Hart at WrestleMania
passed out.
13. He passed out. She should have either passed out or got beaten on a fluky type of finish.
And what's great about that feud was that Austin kept looking for Bret Hart. He kept looking for him after WrestleMania.
Now,
that's what's awesome.
they redeemed themselves later on in the night when they let Becky Lynch win the Royal Rumble. But they kind of sort of made it seem kind of odd, too, because had Lana not gotten injured, kayfabe-wise, in that pre-show, guess what? Becky Lynch would have never gotten the opportunity, and we can all assume Charlotte Flair gets her opportunity to face Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. My biggest thing is this: the writing has been awful for Becky Lynch. They have not booked her well, and then we're trying to make her into a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin was a complete badass. Becky Lynch is not showing herself to be a badass. Even yesterday, you apologize to the McMahon family? What the hell is that? Why are you apologizing? She's right. They've screwed people over for years, both in
surprise.
kayfabe and behind the scenes. So why in the hell is she going to apologize for them? They are taking something away from her, and she should have said that it is her contractual right to go on to WrestleMania and face the champion because she won the damn Royal Rumble, and now it's getting taken away from her because of some. I'm sorry, but this just screams BS. Charlotte Flair does not need to be in this matchup. This screams the WWE trying to find a big match for Charlotte Flair, and she does not need this title match. She does not need this main event. Becky Lynch has clearly surpassed her in popularity. She's clearly surpassed her in terms of crowd appeal. All I can see is that the reason why they're trying to do this is because it's going to be easier to get Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey on SportsCenter than a redheaded Irish woman and Ronda Rousey on SportsCenter. And I get it, and I understand what they're thinking, but it's still some. You got to go with your hottest matchup. And also, they're ruining the heat for Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. By the time Becky Lynch finally gets to this main event match, we won't have too much time to establish any type of heat between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. Even yesterday in their interaction, it was bullshit. Why in the hell is Ronda Rousey grabbing onto Becky Lynch's arm, begging her to apologize? Who the hell is writing this? Like, why are we keep going through this every year with these crappy road to WrestleManias? Like, what is going on here? What is the mentality of these writers now? What is the mentality of Vince McMahon, who is 70-something years old? I know what it is. It's laziness on his part. He got that deal with Fox, got that deal with NBC. He knows he's got a whole bunch of money selling out. The WrestleMania tickets are going through the roof. And now he knows, guess what? We can BSing on the road to WrestleMania. Well, this is not acceptable. The WWE video releasing this whole situation has gotten almost about, 64,000 views the last time I checked. 64,000 dislikes on YouTube. And it deserves even more than that. And it will get more than that.
Were you one of them?
I didn't watch it. I'm not going to go on YouTube after I watch a whole BS show. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is this. We can't keep dealing with this anymore. We can't keep dealing with Charlotte Flair keep getting all these opportunities when she clearly should be facing Asuka in the main for SmackDown. There is nothing going on with Asuka. So now you take the two top women's wrestlers on SmackDown. You take Charlotte Flair, you take Becky Lynch away from them. You put them on Raw with Ronda Rousey. Well, what's going on with Asuka here? Who's going to face Asuka at WrestleMania? Hell, who's going to face Asuka at Elimination Chamber? Because right now it's nobody. Okay? Maybe somebody can rise up from the woodwork, but I would think it would be Naomi, but she's in an elimination match with Carmella. We'll talk about that later, but it just doesn't make any sense what they're doing right now. Charlotte Flair needs to F off and go face Asuka at WrestleMania, and we need time to build heat. And the way they're dealing with Becky Lynch is they're making her look terrible. They're making her look bad, and I can already feel it. Her heat, the momentum, the crowd being behind her is starting to slowly but surely die down. Vince, stop making her write these shitty promos where you're trying to make her that white meat baby face. She's not a white meat baby face. Let her be the Irish last kicker that we know she is. And if you do that, you've got a great feud going into WrestleMania. Now Becky Lynch has got to go fight the McMahons. She's got to go do all this stuff. She's got to beat Charlotte Flair. And by the time that happens, we're only going to have a few weeks left. Maybe there's some heat in this feud left, but they're starting to kill it for me really fast. And it's a bummer because I'm going to be there live. And I'm rooting for the man.
Those are going to be some loud cheers for Becky Lynch over at WrestleMania. 70,000 fans out there. 70
Over
fans.
70, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's going to be dope. I can't wait for it. But, I mean, they're ruining it for me. And I don't know, for us. And I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing this. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever when Charlotte Flair has had enough opportunity. It's plain and simple. And by the way, we don't need the McMahons in this either. We don't.
We never.
Why we got the McMahons in this? This should be about Charlotte Flair being jealous of Becky Lynch, going after her. Becky Lynch defeats Charlotte Flair, maintains her spot, and we quickly get on to the road to WrestleMania, which between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. But instead, we're dealing with all this with Ronda and the McMahon family and Charlotte Flair. What I would have done is I would have had Ronda Rousey align herself with the McMahon family. If you want to do something with the McMahon family, have the true corporate champion be Ronda Rousey. Okay? Have them have a way. Be like, hey, we don't support Becky Lynch. We don't think she's the right face. We don't think she's going to be Main Street enough. We
Kinda
don't
like
think
what they
she
did
can
with
take
Daniel
her.
Bryan, too.
We don't think she can take her to the. We don't think she can take the women's division, the WWE, to that next level. But Ronda Rousey's a proven draw. She did it in one sport. She's doing it here. We want to support her. And Becky Lynch overcomes the authority. They're not making Becky Lynch look cool whatsoever. The Stone Cold Steve Austin comparisons have officially been dead as of last night and as of a few weeks ago. They need to find a way to rebuild this thing quick. Hopefully it starts tonight on SmackDown Live, but right now it's dying for me.
Hopefully it started last night on SmackDown Live. That's a correct pronunciation. But
Whatever.
It's being released on Wednesday.
I kind of wish we had the TV right here so we can just watch SmackDown.
That'd be true. Yeah, we could. Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate. They're trying to just get Charlotte in this match. They don't. I guess they poorly booked Charlotte before they poorly booked Becky Lynch because they felt like they had to add Charlotte into something big. I don't necessarily want to see Charlotte face Asuka either because we've already seen that match once, and it would kind of just be.
It's the biggest match you got on SmackDown.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't do.
Then who else is Asuka in the face, Nick?
Do you come up with something? You got 8 weeks.
Then who?
You got. I'm
don't
not.
have
I'm
time.
non-creative.
You got Fastlane. You got Elimination Chamber.
You don't have
coming
time
up.
It's not
to
even
build
that.
Shayna Baszler.
You maybe. I'm not sure exactly what they could have done. I mean, Asuka, she beat Becky Lynch, so she obviously has some clout, right? But I just think booking Charlotte, you got to have some match to see who's going to face her, which I think we'll eventually have. I don't know why we haven't had it yet. But, it makes sense and it doesn't make sense. Because it makes sense that because Charlotte... can you let me explain it before you go
I'm going to let you say what you want to say, but that didn't make sense to me. But go ahead.
Because I'm trying to explain it.
Go ahead and say what you want to say, Nick.
Charlotte, it makes sense and it doesn't make sense. It makes sense that they book it this way because Charlotte's been involved in this storyline since Survivor Series. Now, it probably wasn't pre-planned. Becky Lynch got a concussion. They needed someone else to replace Ronda Rousey, and she faced Ronda Rousey. To acknowledge that she hasn't been part of the storyline is just false. She's been a part of the storyline. So it makes sense. But the way they had Becky Lynch win the Royal Rumble and the way they've had Becky Lynch kind of talk about Ronda Rousey and their interactions, Charlotte has no place in this at all. So that's where it doesn't make sense. And so, you need to come up with something with Charlotte. Maybe Charlotte attacks Becky Lynch. Maybe they have a match at Fastlane and to determine who really is the champion. And then you finally, while Becky Lynch is going...
contender?
Exactly. But there needed to be a reason why Charlotte was added to this match, not just because Vince McMahon endorses her. I agree with you guys. I don't think that McMahon should be involved in it's like every year, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and now Vince is being involved in this, but the McMahon family has to be involved in something. Shane McMahon's involved in the match every single year, although Shane's very likable and he's an actual performer.
Right.
So it's different. Triple H, I still see as a wrestler. I don't see him as a front office guy, to be honest, so I'm okay with him wrestling at WrestleMania. But his wife doesn't need to be involved, and Vince doesn't need to be involved. They're not wrestlers.
Yeah.
It's a wrestling show, all right?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so I see where they're coming from it, but I don't think fans...
It looked like they were steering...
Yeah.
They were steering the feud between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte to their direction, but up until Royal Rumble... That steer should have went through a different direction.
When Becky Lynch beat Charlotte Flair, kayfabe wise, with a bad knee, that should have eliminated Charlotte Flair
100%.
right then and there for that
100%.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Because if you can't beat a competitor 50%, 60% on a bad leg like that, just moments after they've been pushed down by Nia Jax, you don't deserve to be in the main event of WrestleMania. It's that simple. And yet, some way, somehow, she's booked in this. And this is got to be a storyline. This has got to be on the roads for Becky Lynch.
Yeah, storyline.
And if they're doing this, then maybe they got one up on us.
Yeah.
But right now, I just feel like this is getting ready to be a triple threat. And I'm going to boo Charlotte Flair out of the building, and I'm going to be drunk.
You're not going to be wooing. You're not going to be wooing.
No, I'm not
when she comes
wooing.
in?
My
Not
mom
booing.
I'm going to be booing. I'm planning to get
Don't get
plastered.
those two mixed up.
I'm planning to get plastered at WrestleMania.
The
We're going to have to carry him out of the stadium.
I hope. Yeah, I know.
Security, probably.
RKJ gets kicked out of WrestleMania before the main event even happens.
I'll kick his ass
I think
afterwards.
that would actually be the
gets me kicked
funniest
out.
thing I'd ever seen in my life if he got kicked out.
I might try to
before
rush
the
the
main
ring if that happens.
I honestly hope let's segue back to WrestleMania. I honestly hope that the RKJ man gets so drunk he can't see Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. I think that would be the best ring general storyline of all time.
You know what's
right
funny
there.
too?
Yeah.
I know you two would stay in the stadium watching the main event.
100%.
Like they'll be like, "Well, that's his fault. You know, that's his fault for getting kicked out."
100%. Hey, I've been to a lot of Cardinals games where I've been extremely inebriated and I've never been kicked out. People I know have been kicked out that I've been with, but I have not been kicked out. So I will not defend you in that case. You should be able to hold it down.
Wow.
That's messed up, Nick.
We've been making these plans since December, essentially. So they say you get kicked out too drunk, you missed your favorite match. Me and Eric gonna see it.
I don't know, man.
After.
I'm gonna need some alcohol if we're sitting up there in
You
7
know what?
hours, man.
You know what?
I'm gonna
You know what
need
should make-
like a lot of Mike's Hard Lemonades.
You know what better? You know what
Vodka
would make
Sprites.
this match even more interesting is how fans would get into fights into the stadium, like diehard Charlotte fans. And Becky Lynch fans are like sitting next to each other, and they just get into
Are there
fights.
any diehard Becky Lynch?
There are
fans?
a lot of dudes support Becky Lynch more than just her being hot.
You think they'd be getting in fights over it though? I think women might get in fights over
Yeah.
it.
I don't know.
I mean, we saw that Conor McGregor and Khabib. I mean,
But
We almost saw fights happen when Enzo showed up at Survivor Series. Like people were yelling at each other
He
about
landed on a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They, like fell in his seat like an idiot.
You know,
Yeah.
he got tackled.
people were like, "We want Enzo."
That's what happens when you try to take over a show.
Yeah.
I have no
mean,
sympathy.
It was fantastic. I
We
enjoyed that.
want Enzo.
Hopefully,
No,
I
we
don't see that
don't.
crazy.
That raccoon.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't see that dude at WrestleMania or WrestleCon, wherever we're gonna be at.
He's
I
gonna
really
be
hope
around the
not.
area. He
I
needs.
don't want to see him there.
He needs those
really
fans.
Don't.
Apparently.
You know,
Eric,
I got a
Eric,
match.
bring your boxing gloves.
I
Bring
got
your
a match.
boxing glove.
I
have
got
to
a match
slap
for you.
somebody.
I got to answer for your question. Who I would rather see Charlotte Flair face? Maybe like a young, up and coming Well, I guess Charlotte's a heel too, though.
Who is it?
Mandy Rose.
No.
You maybe have Mandy Rose.
Nah, it's
Yeah, but that's how you get a good match, though, is by having an established star face someone that's kind of up and coming. Mandy Rose has been booked pretty well. Maybe Naomi. I don't know. I think you're right. I think
Naomi
Asuka-
versus Asuka might be a road that you can go with. You can play off the fact that Naomi and Asuka are friends, and then Naomi turns on Asuka and becomes a heel, so she can go after the title, saying she's never had the respect she deserves. But I think they might have. Well, we'll see what happens.
Don't they have plans for Mandy and Sonya to go after those tag titles?
I think they're gonna win the tag titles.
Oh, that would be awful.
I think they're gonna win the tag titles.
I wouldn't like that.
You want the
They've been
Iconics
booked.
to win?
They've been booked probably the best besides Nia Jax and Tamina with this whole thing, though. To be honest,
God, please don't let Nia Jax win, man.
no.
By the way,
injure somebody
no,
else.
I'm not gonna say it.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say.
Spit it out.
I was gonna say how this match was sponsored by Golden Corral, and then all of a sudden Nia Jax was right there. And I was like, that's pretty messed up. I was like, whoever did that was not a very smart person. Whoever decided to put that right there as Nia Jax is right there.
I feel that
that's not the smartest idea.
I feel that as an unfortunate situation rather than an intentional thing.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
Now the arcade game man is shown it to light now.
I mean, like, that's the first thing I said last night when I saw it. I was like, hey, didn't they show Golden Corral? Yeah, that's a buffet. Why they got Nia Jax right here? That's pretty messed up what they're doing. But then again, you know, Nia Jax, she likes to break people's faces.
You're going to edit that out?
There's no reason to edit that out. No,
I didn't say anything bad about her. Okay. I just said that they put her in a wrong time, in an unfortunate time.
You might have insinuated something about her, though.
What?
I don't necessarily want to insinuate the same thing you did.
I didn't say it.
So I'm not gonna.
I didn't say it. I just said
I'm
it
not
was.
Gonna say it.
I just said it was messed up that they would do that to her.
Golden Corral has a certain connotation. I'm just saying.
I love Golden Corral. I think Golden Corral's delicious.
Golden Corral's good. We've been to Golden Corral together. It's been good.
It's fantastic.
All right, so where do we go from here? Because I think we voiced our concerns.
Yeah.
I mean, again...
We had to get that out of the way.
Again, I don't want to go too far into this because they could switch up the storyline and then we're going to kind of sound like idiots complaining about it. So I think we should stop it right there. Ryan, you kind of already Ryan rantsed. We'll do your segment, Eric. Eric's indie update.
Okay, so I'm actually going to address something very serious right now. Pedro Morales passed away, Hall of Famer.
Oh man.
At the age of 76, as I'm reading right now. W is saddened to learn W Hall of Famer Pedro Morales has passed away. Yeah, so condolences to him and his family. Pedro. Yeah, Hall of Famer.
He was the guy that was he had a couple matches with Bruno Sammartino back in the day, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those matches at like Shea Stadium.
Yep.
Very historic wrestler, right?
Oh yeah, one of the
greats.
OGs out there, man.
R.I.P.
And also for Cody, he is going under knee surgery. Tuesday morning, which happened just today, underwent successful knee surgery to repair an injury that has been dealing with since November. So hopefully we can have a speedy recovery from Cody.
Get ready for Double or Nothing.
Yep. NWA Crockett Cup. Marty Scurll is going to go up against his longtime friend Nick Galdis for the NWA title.
What a match.
And New Japan Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and CML are sending teams for the Crockett Cup tournament. And that's going to be happening all in the month of April. And speaking of Ring of Honor, tickets are on sale for G1 Supercard this Wednesday. The event will be held Friday, April 5th. So if you're around the area...
Madison Square Garden.
Yes, Madison Square Garden. Be sure to check it out and get those tickets. And this is something that kind of interested me, and I think I might have talked about it the last podcast. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, it's actually a thing where you get to actually, tape up your hands and no gloves.
Wade Barrett style, right?
Yeah. Just use, your tape.
Are you entering, Eric?
Maybe.
That would
with
be
those fighting posts, those fighting Instagram posts.
He's been booking himself. He's been putting himself over on
Instagram,
on the old gram.
Yeah,
Well, what does it explain a little more though? Explain it more. I want to know what this is. This is very interesting to me.
So they just barely had their event called Bare Knuckle Fighting number 4, and it was established last year in 2018. And these guys, these guys barely have. Well, they're going to be having another event. Hopefully, maybe in the next month, but they barely had their event, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, USA versus Mexico, and this was located in Cancun. And
What a weird place to do this.
and instead of an octagon, it's like a circle. The ring is a circle. Yeah.
Oh, it's like a pit.
Yeah, it's like
human sacrifice.
oh yeah.
Illuminati sacrifice.
You just have like a big pit people fighting in.
Yeah, so these guys they don't use gloves. They don't use boxing gloves, 16-ounce or 4-ounce gloves. They just use, bare hands.
Yeah, holy hell! I'm looking at a picture right now. These guys just barehanded.
What
Yeah.
a
That's
weird
insane.
place to have it though in Cancun, man. Just
Well,
that's a place you want to go party
well-
and have a good time.
well, they've had events
Not beat the
from
shit out of each other.
yeah, like you want to be hot chicks. Like you don't want to go
Yeah.
and just knock somebody's ass.
they've had events in Mississippi and Wyoming. Yeah, they had some events over there. So this is sort of a new
Random
thing.
ass places, bro.
yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds a lot like where bare knuckle fighting would happen.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Wyoming.
Mississippi, I can see.
Cancun.
I can
Yeah.
see that happening in Mississippi.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that up is because you may never know if any fighter from Bellator or UFC might end up in bare knuckle fighting. So we're gonna put these guys on our radar just
Yeah,
for an
sure.
Hey,
hour.
that's what the
Absolutely.
indie update's for. It's not just independent wrestling. There's independent boxing, independent
MMA.
MMA, independent bare knuckle fighting. Apparently,
yeah,
I guess too.
and there's gonna be more out there. So be on the lookout. Double or Nothing announced. Well, AEW announced just one match. Kenny Omega versus Y2J Part 2.
So let's talk about. Can we talk about that, or do you,
Yeah, briefly. Yeah, we can talk about that.
what y'all think about the AEW press conference? And
They
what
got
do you
heat.
think about Double or Nothing selling out again?
Well, that was the pre-sale tickets that were sold out.
That thing is sold out.
How many tickets?
I don't know.
Well,
I
but
for-
if
I
it's
forget.
2,000 tickets, it's not. I mean,
I don't. I didn't look
we
up the.
obviously expected to sell. It's a company that it has the same people that sold out the one in Chicago, right? What was
Yes.
the other?
Yeah.
So then why
Well,
is
this
it's not surprising to me that they sold out their first event in a small arena in Las Vegas.
The MGM Grand. That's where they that's where they
They had
hold
boxing
the
matches, but
yeah.
the attendance for that is below like T-Mobile Arena and Staples
Oh,
Center
okay,
and
that
stuff
makes
like. Yeah,
sense.
so it's not. It's around the same seating as the other one. I'm not surprised. I mean, it's looking to be the best booked, dare I say it, independent show coming up in the next 2 or 3 months.
in May. Yeah.
So I'm not surprised it's sold out. But for someone like me to watch this thing, there's got to be better than a rematch from New Japan Pro Wrestling, like that.
New
I could care less
Japan,
about
and
that.
I guess
Okay?
you can say all in was sort of
Was
well,
All In Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega though?
It was Pentagon Jr. versus Kenny Omega, and then later on was
I mean,
Chris Jericho
I
interfered.
probably will watch it. To be
I'm
honest,
watching it.
I probably will watch
I'll
it just
ta-
because
yeah.
of the connotation behind it and how much coverage we've done. I still want them to obviously get a TV deal to
Right.
actually.
They have to give a TV deal.
Yeah,
Like that's
you don't
the
get
next
a TV
step.
deal. Sorry to interrupt. If you don't get a TV deal, it's just an indie show to me. That's all it is. An indie show under a company under a different name.
Okay.
It's New Japan Pro Wrestling under a different name.
An indie show though with a lot of money behind it.
A lot of money
100
behind it, but
Yeah.
it's
And
who
what-
are you signed? Who have they signed
Well, I mean,
besides
that's
New Japan guys?
Well, they've signed Hangman Page. They've
New Japan
signed.
guys. Besides New
I'm
I don't
saying,
want to hear
I'm
you say
saying
one
Ring
New
of
Japan
Honor
guy.
guy. I'm saying they've signed other
No,
people.
so indie guys then.
Who have they
I
signed?
want to see when they
You want
sign
to see
Dean
if
Ambrose.
you want them to sign Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
That's what
Randy
you're.
could
That's
be
what
in
I
we're
want to
getting
see them
to. That's
sign
what I'm
Dolph
trying to get
Ziggler.
to.
They might
I
not
don't
sign
care
the
about
Revival
Dolph
now because
Ziggler.
Revival just won the tag team
CM
titles.
Punk.
Yeah, they have to sign. They have
John
to not.
Cena.
What? It's not gonna happen though. Can you please say that every podcast?
John
though?
Cena. Look,
Maybe
Hulk
we'll
He's
spread
Hogan.
loyal,
some-
man.
Maybe we'll spread something.
Hulk Hogan, the WCW, didn't think that was going to happen. Randy Savage, you didn't think that was going to happen.
That's true.
Roddy,
Yeah.
Roddy
Hulk
Piper.
Hogan obviously has a little bigger ego than John Cena, I think, though. To be honest, so I don't think he'd be that.
Hey man,
way.
hey, all I know is this: there's a lot of rumors being cast. Everybody now is
Speak
going.
it into existence.
Is going to
Yeah.
AEW apparently. Randy Orton. I mean, by the way, I wanted
we'll
to say
go to
this.
AEW if
We
we have
liked
to.
we
Yeah,
put out
we'll
a
go to-
tweet. Wrestling, what is that? Wrestle Humor put out a tweet about Randy Orton. A tweet and Randy Orton liked it. Randy Orton's always liked Wrestle Humor stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
though.
Is it WrestleMania? Is it the kayfabe thing?
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
either Wrestle Humor or Cable. We'll check it, but like
It's
Randy
the really
Orton's-
popular one that makes fun of like creatives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen those.
And
one of
Randy
them.
liked it, and it was about AEW.
Yeah.
So I feel like Randy will just stay with WWE. To be
Probably.
honest,
Yeah.
but this is what I'm saying though. So
It's got a cool
far,
schedule.
Double or Nothing is a glorified indie show. And they need, if you get a TV deal and I can watch these developments on TV and don't have to find them, if I don't have to find out about them through Twitter, then I'll do it. I find out about Becky Lynch and Charlotte on television. I find out about Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar on television. I found out about Chris Jericho attacking Kenny Omega from YouTube videos. Okay, there's a difference. If I never check YouTube, I'd never know anything that's going on.
That's kind of their audience. So in order to make the mainstream, in order to go mainstream, I agree, they've got to get on TV. So you combine the independent audience with the casual audience.
Well, you have to sign some guys too. I mean, you have to get like Randy Orton or Dolph Ziggler or Dean Ambrose. We've gone over this before. There's no reason to get too much into it, but you need to sign quality talent that is not independent.
But you can't get to the point where you're signing WWE rejects like TNA did, because TNA signed all these WWE dudes, and it just basically became WWE 2.0, just on a smaller scale and a smaller version. We don't want that for AEW. We want something different and unique and as an alternative. I think they're doing a good job with it as providing an alternative. Y'all see that they signed the first ever transgender or something, Nia Rose or something.
I did not hear about this.
Transgender or homosexual. I don't know.
Press,
but they're breaking barriers.
The only time where I saw like the press conference was.
Wasn't Goldust the first transgender? I'm just kidding. I'm just
he was just being.
I apologize.
We both got our controversial statements
I
out.
apologize for that.
Well, at first I think it freaked out a lot of people because when he took off the wig, people were like, "Wait, what the hell?" Okay, here we go.
Vito? Vito was a crossdresser. Remember that guy?
Vito was a cross. Vito was, but Vito was not,
the same thing,
transgender though.
Yeah.
Crossdresser and transgender is not the same thing.
I think it's just how WWE put him.
She's transgender.
That's not the one. It's the wrong thing. That's just a wrestler. Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Okay. That is big. You have to do some different stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not WWE. Even if they sign WWE stars, I disagree with you. I don't think that means they're a WWE knockoff show. TNA was literally made up of pretty much exclusive WWE people. Then you had Samoa Joe, Abyss, AJ Styles, and a lot of these other guys. It was a good combination, but
homegrown stars.
Their stars at AEW are going to be, in some ways, homegrown stars. Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega,
definitely
Hangman Page.
Kenny Omega,
So, and even in some ways, this new and improved Chris Jericho.
Right.
So, it'll be interesting to watch.
Right.
But in order for me to get behind this, because I want to get you back to the finisher segment real quick, I still have to see a TV deal. Because then I'm essentially just going to be watching some random wrestling show on May 25th. And I want to see some WWE guys after WrestleMania go over there. Even for Double or Nothing.
We'll have to find out.
You know? I'm busy that weekend, so it's going to take me a lot to watch that pay-per-view. And especially if it's not on something where I can like potentially tape it, like it's going to be tough for me to watch it.
I have to look at the fight card, because the fight card for me, that's what matters.
I think the fight card is developing over time now.
Yeah, it's going to develop
on the Being Elite series.
That's true. So, speaking of Y2J, yes, it's official. Rockin' Wrestler Rager Second Wave will be happening next year, 2020, January 20th to the 24th. And it's going to begin from Miami to the Bahamas. More details are coming. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, if you are in the area, next free taping of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood will take place on March 24th. So, you're in the area, check that out. And for Dream Match of the Day, we did talk about Vince McMahon a bit earlier. I was thinking, I'm going out there. There was an interview that Dana White did a couple of years ago, and Vince McMahon called Dana White about, why don't we do this? Why don't we fight, for fun? And Dana White said, first of all, you're old, you're crazy. And Vince McMahon said that, no, I actually want this. We can either do it in like one or the other way. One, we can do it in the UFC, in the Octagon. We'll fight. Or number two, you and me, we go at WrestleMania. So Dana White versus Vince McMahon.
Oh, that's a great one, to be honest.
I got one now. I got one.
Yeah.
What about Vince McMahon versus Eric Bischoff?
That
What
would have
about-
been a good
remember,
year back in the day.
That would have been great. And apparently Vince McMahon was going to show up. but
Yes,
something
Bischoff
kept him.
did announce that fight back in WCW, but never did happen. Yeah, it never did happen.
I got a dream match that goes off what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Randy Orton versus the new and improved Cody. AEW.
Makes sense.
Randy Orton versus Cody because they have history. Obviously, they were kind of tag team with each other for a while. Legacy.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe if Cody,
Amazing match
if he
that
goes,
would be.
and if he goes after that NWA title again, if he goes after the NWA title for Double or Nothing, and Randy Orton does go to AEW and he goes after the NWA Championship, that will solidify his career. Like that will
Is that what
help.
we're talking about Randy Orton?
Yeah, Randy Orton.
What about
yeah.
Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega? I mean, not Kenny Rhodes versus Kenny Omega. Randy Orton versus Kenny Omega.
I thought about that. I just don't. That almost is too good to be like. It's like that's amazing. I just think the thing with the families, their dads both kind of being in the same generation of wrestlers, I think they could come up with a really, really good story, a better story than just some dream wrestling match, which would be Kenny Omega versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. That's two generations of wrestling right there that can combine and three generations.
So does
of
that
wrestling.
mean you're trying to promote Cody Rhodes to be the top star of AEW?
100%?
Because if whoever Randy
guy that
Orton
created
faces,
it.
and if Randy Orton was to jumping over to AEW, that first feud is the person you're saying we want you to go over Randy Orton in order to make sure that we make you the top face of AEW. So I think you got to put Kenny Omega in that spot because I think they want him to be the top face of AEW. So you got to put Randy Orton versus Kenny Omega there. If you're gonna have a big show like a WrestleMania for AEW sometime in the near future, or if you put it on television, that would be good too.
Makes sense.
I like
Yeah, I
the
think
way
so.
you're thinking of that. I didn't think about it that way. I was thinking about it more just a storyline wise. I could care less about AEW in this case. But you're right. The Randy Orton is by far the best person they could get. The most realistic best person they could get. John Cena, Rock, whatever. That's not
What about
gonna
Brock Lesnar?
happen. Brock.
If they pay him well,
Who does Brock Lesnar face if he goes to AEW though?
Everybody.
But I mean, who is the
Literally have
who's the
him run
first guy,
through
though?
people.
Yeah.
Who's the first guy?
Who's the first guy Brock Lesnar goes after?
I don't know.
You
I
know
don't know
what?
who's the first
Right?
guy.
you know what? I think if Brock,
They don't have a lot of
if-
big guys over there.
If Brock he can jump over to AEW if Paul Heyman goes with him. I think so.
I mean,
he'll definitely go.
Yeah.
with
Paul
Paul
Heyman's
Heyman.
not associated with the WWE. I mean, he created another. He's not associated with WWE. He's
Paul
associated
Heyman
with
is
Brock Lesnar.
negotiating
Yeah.
this contract right now between
Yeah.
AEW, allegedly AEW, WWE,
Yeah.
UFC.
Oh, that's what I'm
He's-
saying, is
like
that-
he's.
I mean,
you
asking
know.
for a lot of dough.
It's going to be a lot of money, and
I would.
Brock is the kind of guy. He probably say like, "Yeah, I'll go," but if Paul Heyman were to go with me, because if I'm going by myself, I'm not doing that crap.
Yeah, I think Brock and Paul Heyman go hand in hand. I don't think
Yeah.
they're really much
But-
separate.
Yeah,
Brock's-
for UFC, that's a whole different animal. As far as fighting goes. But for entertainment wise, I think he needs Paul Heyman.
And he can get the same schedule as he gets in the WWE right now. Come in every couple of months, do a big feud, leave.
Even easier in AEW because people don't expect you to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. You have so many people there who can take it over. It's kind of not like in the WWE where it's like we really should be there as much as he can because I don't see the star power there in WWE. AEW, they got enough people at least in that realm of independent wrestling where you can say, okay, we're satisfied with him not being here every week.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So I'm gonna pull a strategy here for this part of the podcast. I think what we're gonna do right here is we're gonna do Ryan rants because I don't think we're gonna be complaining much on this podcast. So we'll do the top complaining in this segment right here because I think
I don't know what
my
Ryan Rants is
segment
gonna
combined
be.
with what we're gonna talk about for the rest of the show is not much of like shit talking anybody anymore. It's more so I'll finish off the shit talking segment of the podcast right here with Ryan
the king
Reigns. I was
of
going to
it?
go with my segment, but I thought,
with
you know
the
what?
king of it.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt what I think is going to be a really good segment next.
I really didn't know what I was going to talk about on Ryan Rants.
I mean,
honestly.
you can just say Ryan Rants was your segment earlier if you
I
want.
just what I'm thinking about right now, and the more and more I look at it, the more and more I see social media during this week, which is supposed to be Valentine's week, the more and more I get annoyed with seeing these people out here complaining. Number one, if you're a dude and you're searching frantically for flowers on February 14th, you don't deserve to have a girlfriend in the first place. Because if you're searching, if you're not taking care of your woman night in, night out, every single day, through some way, shape, or form, then you don't deserve to have a woman. Because we shouldn't be looking for February 14th to be the end-all, be-all. But at the same point, for all you out there who say that February 14th is a materialistic holiday, that's such BS. You know you actually legitimately want to do something on February 14th for a lot of these people. Because I had a girl ask me yesterday,
well, this got a lot better.
what should I get my boyfriend? Now, earlier in our conversation, she had specifically told me that she thought Valentine's Day was a very materialistic holiday. But 5 minutes later, she turned around and said, hey, what should I get my boyfriend? And I'm just like, really? Seriously? You just literally told me 5 minutes ago you thought it was a materialistic holiday, and now you're telling me that you got to go get something for your boyfriend. I mean, I think at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, love is love. And if you're truly committed to someone, whether it's Valentine's Day or the first of the month, whatever, you're going to take care of them regardless, man. And then she later on went on to say she was buying him shoes. So I was like, okay, because he's a sneakerhead. So I was like, okay, that's a good gift. But for those of you who are just looking for Valentine's Day to be the end-all, be-all of your relationship when you should have been doing it earlier on, y'all dumb, man. It is what it is. I didn't have much to say for Ryan Rants. Oh, and by the way, Priscilla Kelly, you suck. I just want to let you know
Where's
that.
that coming from?
Whoa.
You vomited on another wrestler.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Priscilla Kelly vomited on another wrestler.
When did this happen?
She's going for shock
Wait,
value
basically
now.
what she's doing is what my dog does. You know, if my dog has a little toy before he got nipped, and he used to do some crazy things with that toy. And she's starting to act like my dog.
Imagine.
She's starting to act like my Boston Terrier.
Your dog pulls out tampons and stuff?
Well, no, he didn't. But he did basically.
He has thrown up on somebody before.
Yeah, he threw up. He threw up. He threw up.
Yeah,
Well, that's what dogs
Priscilla
do.
Kelly compared to RKJ Man's dog.
Yeah, she's acting stupid right now. And hopefully at WrestleCon I could tell her what I think about her. Cause
I cannot wait.
I just don't think she's the smartest person in the world right now. She's just trying to do stuff to get attention. Congratulations, you got your self-attention, Priscilla Kelly, but not the right one. Okay. Don't do anything stupid. I mean, what's the next thing she's going to do? Orgasm in the ring? Like, what's she going to do in order to try to get herself into the WWE? It is what it is, man. Hey, fellas, February 14th, don't be rushing around for roses. Priscilla Kelly, stop acting like a dumbass. I'm the RKJ, man. I'm always shooting my shot for greatness.
Can I ask the opinion of the peanut gallery here?
What?
If, for some reason, someone is taking a flight on Valentine's Day and isn't getting there till later that night, is that in the case where it is okay for the guy to get flowers on Valentine's Day?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
No, it just
There's-
depends
there
on
has
you,
to
man.
be
That's
certain-
me. That's
there's
what I have.
certain
That's what I have to
exceptions.
do. That's what I
There's
have to
certain
do.
exceptions. See, in Nick's case, that's fine, and I can give him that. You might say, "Oh, he's his homie." No, like, because I know the sacrifice he's making for this. So it's like, it is what it is. But there's
I'm getting
some
there at
dudes.
7. I'm getting into my girl's place at 7, and
7 p.m. or 7 a.m.
7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've
7
already we've already gone over it. Little insider deal. We've already gone over it that if for some reason flight got delayed, whatever, we just have Valentine's Day in house. Worst comes to worst. We've agreed that because of the way the flights work and stuff like that. I mean, I'm leaving early in the morning too. Just the way flights to the East Coast take a long time, and it's snowing over there today. I know, so it might be a little hard to
You
fly
made like
in
one or
there.
two stops. Yeah.
I usually try to get the
just-
nonstop ones, but yes, I agree with you. If someone hasn't been thinking about their girl for a long time,
Like what?
F.
Like
F
it
'em.
reminds me of this one time. I went out with my friends.
Yeah.
I go out with my friends one night, and it's what is it?
Is this Valentine's Day?
No, it's that
Oh.
first. It was that New Year's Eve a long time ago, back when I was working at the other company.
December 31st?
Yeah, the New Year's
okay,
Eve, New Year's Day, and like
Wow.
we go out, and we all get like we all having a good time, and we decide to stop at this place and get something to eat. And this woman's in there just complaining about how there's no good men in the world and everything like that. Just like we don't want to hear about your complaints, man. We just want our Subway sandwich, bro. Like we just want eat this footlong right here.
Yeah, what
Eat
time
the
was it? What time
BLT.
was it too at this point? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It was like 2,
Wow.
3 o'clock in the morning,
dude,
man.
you can't be talking about no men.
No,
Like,
no,
2 o'clock in the
no.
morning,
like,
bro.
man, I
No.
just want to eat my meatball sub, bro,
Look,
or my
man,
Philly
if
cheesesteak.
I can give
I was
like if I could give like to any advice to any brother and sister out there, think of it this way: every day is Valentine's Day. All right, just treat it that
That's
way.
a great way to
just
say
treat
it.
it like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's-
I try my hardest to do it like that. I
Like-
don't succeed a lot,
Yeah.
but
Look,
I
at
mean,
the end
I
of the
try.
at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, man, like if you feel like you don't have a man because men aren't loyal, well, maybe you don't deserve a man. Same thing for you dudes out there. If you feel like you don't have a girl because these girls ain't loyal, guess what? That's probably why you don't have a girlfriend. Because I've had that mentality too, and that's hurt me negatively too. So stop being so negative. If you're okay with being single on Valentine's Day, which I am, be grateful that you're alive.
Love
Do
your
other
mo-
things.
love your mama.
Love your mom.
Yeah,
That's what
take
I'm
your
gonna
mom
do.
out for
I'm
Valentine's Day.
off on Valentine's Day. I'm gonna do something with my mom.
Yeah,
You know,
there
we're
you
gonna
go.
go get something to eat somewhere.
Love your mom, love
You
your
know?
aunt, love everybody. Your grandmother, you know.
Yeah.
if
Like-
your dog's a chick,
Yeah, there you go. Love your
you
dog
know,
too.
go on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day with your dog. It's
Yeah.
gonna look weird.
Walk
It's
her
gonna
out.
look really weird.
Yeah, it's gonna look really, really.
gonna
Actually,
look-
don't do that. Don't do that. That's
Yeah,
not a
it's
good idea.
creepy.
Yeah, it's weird.
Nick, did you have a random segment or?
I'm gonna do it later in the show.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
another break for what we're talking. But yeah. So good advice there. That is the Ryan rants turned into a good advice segment.
Yeah,
instead.
it was actually
Yeah.
more
Hey, man,
heartwarming.
with the shit with a barrage against Priscilla Kelly, of course, that had to be put in there for no
hey
reason,
man, I've
but-
got to get in my daily Priscilla Kelly, Nia
Yeah.
Jax like hate.
Yeah, that's true. I know
Corey-
Corey Gray's been okay.
Corey
Corey Grace has been okay.
Wow,
Corey
that's a
Grace-
miracle.
Oh wait a minute. I could have did Ryan Rants on him. He's been bashing fans, but I'm not gonna do that.
It seems like every month something comes out. Corey
Some
Gray's
troll. If you're trolling a fan if you're trying to troll a wrestler on social media, expect that wrestler or wrestling personality to come up against you.
You also could have talked about the fans in the airports too.
Oh,
as
yeah.
Well. We
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that's what you were
You
gonna
talked
do.
about
Well,
that.
I'm getting ready. Probably, I'm gonna see plenty of them. You know, we go to there. So
yeah.
I'm just gonna observe, and then I'm gonna get their name, and I'm gonna blast them out over the podcast.
I got you. That makes sense. All right. So this next segment's going to be a little fun one. Eric and I came up with this the other day.
Oh, yeah?
And we want to get your take on this too. We're each, we've been looking at the champions in UFC right now, and there's a lot of really good champions,
Name them.
and a lot of top fights. Guys like Max Holloway,
Okay,
Khabib,
like them.
Robert Whittaker. Unfortunately, Robert Whittaker got hurt, wasn't able to
Yeah.
fight. Robert Whittaker is an ass kicker. Henry Cejudo, that is the man that called out Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier, John Jones. These are all great fighters, right?
Great fighters.
And in turn,
Phenomenal.
In turn, there's actually a lot of guys that are good fights for these guys, and there's a lot of mixes and matches that you could do and come up with some super fights that are realistic. We're not going to say Henry Cejudo versus Brock Lesnar. That can't possibly
That's
happen.
just unfair.
Cejudo's 135 pounds and Brock Lesnar's 265 pounds.
That's not happening.
So that's
a
not
killing on live television.
Exactly.
That's killing on live television.
Daniel
man.
Cormier has said that he is going to not retire in March and that he will go on to possibly have a super fight against John Jones and Brock Lesnar. He will extend the time because he still loves to fight. Shout out to Finley. And
All he does. By the way, these people who say that they're going to retire, it's just BS. All they want to do is make more money. It's just a
ask
contract.
Chuck
thing.
Liddell,
It's a contract thing.
right?
Well, he
Tito
should have
Ortiz,
retired.
man.
He needs to retire. They
How about-
both got to retire.
How about Mayweather? Didn't he say he's
I
retired?
mean, if you can make money, you can make money. Mayweather makes money.
But so right now, I didn't even mention the females in this category. You have Daniel Cormier, John Jones, Robert Whittaker, Tyron Woodley, Habib Nurmagomedov, Max Holloway, TJ Dillashaw, and Henry Cejudo as the men's champion. All fantastic, all worthy. And for the women, Amanda Nunes is a double champ, Valentina Shevchenko, and Rose Namajunas. Those are some ass kickers.
That's great.
Right there. Now, the women don't
When's the
have
last
it.
time Rose defended?
I think she's defending at 236, if I'm not. I think she got hurt.
Okay.
She got hurt in her last fight against Joanna. So I believe she's.
She's been out for 2 years?
No, they fought last year.
Okay.
Yeah, but so I want us to come up with each of us 3 super fights that you want to see in 2019. You can't say any of the ones that are actually coming up, which would entail be like Usman versus Tyron Woodley or John Jones versus Anthony Smith. I don't think we'd say those, but let's come up with the next big fight right here. It can be champion versus champion. It could be an incoming guy coming and facing an established star. It could be an established star that maybe
We're talking UFC, or are we talking about
UFC?
Okay, we're not talking Bellator, because I had Bellator.
You can
in
do
mind.
Bellator.
Yeah, you can do.
You
Okay.
can absolutely do Bellator,
All right.
but it has to be. All of these fights have to be realistic. You can't. To be honest, we're not going to see
It's not a
CM
dream
Punk
match.
versus anybody. I don't want to hear any of that crap. I want to hear
Legitimate
a
fights.
extremely solid fight that maybe you haven't heard rumors about, and then maybe you just came up on the own. Let's try to get as many. I know you might not be able to get 3 really, really good.
I'm thinking of it.
Yeah,
I've
you're
got
thinking
it
of-
in my mind.
But so I'll let you go first, Eric. You've probably been thinking about this the most. What are your 3 fights that you want to see?
For heavyweight, as far as heavyweight goes, Daniel Cormier, I would like to see Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar, which of course that is gonna happen once Brock Lesnar goes after that.
Not official, but yes.
Yes,
that's,
but it
yes.
will
It
happen.
has to happen.
It has to happen. And as far as middleweight goes, Robert Whittaker going up against the Yoel Romero.
You want to see a rematch?
Another rematch. I
We
want to
saw
see
that fight too.
Yes,
That was it's a
I
good
want to see another rematch of that.
Sounds like a solid fight.
Yes, and here's another one. Welterweight, Tyron Woodley, and I know this mofo has been ducking him. Colby Covington.
Oh yeah, they hate each other.
Wait a minute, is Colby Covington the Trump supporter?
Yeah,
Here's
he's the
Colby.
one.
Here's what Colby.
Oh, let his ass
let
get
me
kicked.
get a lowdown just
Let
for
me
you
get his
guys to
face
hate him a
busted.
little bit more on this. Colby Covington literally said no to Dana White about
Yeah,
a fight with
that's
Tyron
true.
Woodley. So
How
he
you gonna say no
Yeah.
to your boss like that?
No,
Like,
that's who he is. That's who he is, man.
And also, Khabib said that he's going to take potentially 6 months off. And Dana White said, doesn't work that way, brother.
should not happen.
Doesn't work that way.
Should not happen.
So there's a lot of guys that are, like that. But yes, I would love to see that fight too, because I think the shit talking in that, the promos, would be brutal.
Have you seen like those Instagram
Borderline
videos he's
racist
been doing?
from the two?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would.
Who?
Colby Covington?
No, I have not
He's
seen
always
this.
he's always next to like some chick. He's always like next to him.
He's
He's
not
like,
a very attractive guy either.
no, he's
I got
just,
beat
But are
up
they
looking
hot
face.
chicks?
well, yeah. I mean, he just says, "Hey, what's up, nerds and virgins? How's it going?" And yeah, he keeps saying.
That's just him. He's paying for that.
Yeah.
He's paying for those chicks.
And I think he also
chicks
did
don't
like
want to be around
he
him.
did like a bet for the Super Bowl as well, and he
Oh,
was like
gosh.
trash talking Brady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't remind
Okay.
me of that Super Bowl.
So I'll go with my 3 here.
Okay.
I want to see my top one that I absolutely want to see is John Jones versus Daniel Cormier.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Part 3.
that's a given. Hasn't officially been announced, but I'm gonna go with the Brock Lesnar thing is rumored too. John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. It needs to happen. Daniel Cormier. The only reason this fight probably isn't happening right now, or at least coming up soon, is because Cormier is injured. So once John Jones, I believe, beats the brakes off of Anthony Smith in a month, I think the next fight naturally is Daniel Cormier versus John Jones, because Brock Lesnar probably won't be ready for a super title fight yet, and then that would be his next opponent.
After April.
If it ends up happening, yeah. So that's my top fight. My next one is Max Holloway versus Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Which is gonna happen.
I would
Yeah.
love that fight. Max Holloway looked unstoppable against what I thought was a great fighter in Brian Ortega. Beat
Yeah.
the hell out of him.
Jeez,
A
man.
normal fighter that isn't as tough as Brian Ortega would have been knocked out in the first or second round in that fight. He stayed in 4 rounds, made himself look good, put
It was a
himself over.
bloodbath between those two guys.
But Max Holloway
Great
whooped
fight.
his ass. And it's a difference in styles, too. Max Holloway is a striker. Habib's obviously a wrestler. It'd be a contrast in styles. That would be featherweight versus lightweight. So someone would either have to be going down or up to fight that fight. But I really want to see that. And my third fight, I'm going to go with Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. I'm going to put Max Holloway twice in this. McGregor versus Holloway, because Max Holloway...
Trying to kill Conor McGregor?
Let I say, I agree with you on that. I think that might happen, but I do think that, let's say, once McGregor kind of he could beat Donald Cerrone, I feel like
Yeah, I
he
actually
would.
thought you were gonna say Cerrone versus.
No, because I think that fight's scheduled and it's going to happen,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm not
sure,
going to say
yeah.
that one. But I want to see Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor.
Okay.
They both strikers again, so this would be similar styles. I think they both would be able to take a couple punches on the chin. It'd be a fantastic fight. So those are my 3 fights. Daniel Cormier versus John Jones, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Max Holloway, and Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor. Those are my 3.
So my 3 fights, my first one has got to be the one you've got to make after he loses the title to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar versus John Jones. That's just a fight you've got to make. If you want to break records, you've got to have that fight.
That's a good point, too.
You've got to have that fight. My second fight is a rematch. It's a rematch from earlier this year that got us one of our top views on this podcast. It's going to be Conor McGregor versus Khabib again.
Part 2.
You've got to go
It's
part 2
gotta
of that.
happen,
It's got to happen. There's too much bad blood. Conor McGregor has got to find a way to get a win here. If he doesn't win after this, I think his UFC career is done.
Yeah.
I think it's in the water.
Conor McGregor.
He could go to the WWE, be great in the WWE, just like Ronda Rousey. But as far as UFC goes, nah, it's not going to work out anymore. If he cannot find a way, he shouldn't even be facing Max Holloway because Max Holloway could kill him. Okay? But Khabib could kill him too. Khabib could get him first. We'll see here, but I know there's going to be heavy security around that. It's going to be heavy security. My third fight is in Bellator. We saw this guy a couple weeks ago have a pretty impressive debut. Doesn't have too much time left. He's a little older. Let's have Jack Hager go up against Ryan Bader for the championship. Let's just go ahead and shotgun him to the main event title shot right now. Jack Hager wins it. He could be another Brock Lesnar possibly. This is huge. If he wins here, then he could jump on over to UFC.
Conquers Bellator, goes to UFC. Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious, Jack Hager. I could actually pronounce his name now. It's a miracle, Jack Hager.
You haven't screwed it up once.
I haven't screwed it up once. I'm serious about this fight. Those are 3 super fights that I think will happen and needs to happen.
Pay-per-view quality right there, man.
Those are all paper. Those are all. I'm more than willing to spend $80 to $90 at my place for those types of pay-per-views. I spent the money on Conor McGregor versus Khabib.
Well worth
it
it,
lived
man.
up to the hype. It was well worth it. I enjoyed every single moment. My parents and I were not big UFC people, but even my parents are into that fight. I guarantee you do that matchup again, you do that rematch, you're going to sell even more records. I promise you.
Underrated, maybe a honorable mention, possibly Ryan Bader versus Daniel Cormier crossover between Bellator and UFC. I've said this is my dream match, actually, before. That would also
could be a
another
reality.
fight.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's just hard for Bellator, because Bellator is like the kind of the TNA for the UFC. Like, UFC doesn't like to acknowledge that Bellator is like this actual competitive thing. So to have their heavyweight champion come over and potentially beat UFC's heavyweight champion,
That would be embarrassing.
So I don't know if that would actually happen.
Okay.
But yeah, that's another honorable mention right there too.
And another one, I'm not sure if they might do this again, unless Cyborg would, renegotiate again her contract with UFC, get her title back up against Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, you could, because I think Cyborg could beat her. Amanda Nunes is the best women's fighter ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think that Chris Cyborg is obviously a woman.
I agree.
Potentially, also, now we said 2019, a long-range one would potentially be Ronda Rousey.
I know.
returning
I've thought about that too.
Yeah, and that would have to be such circumstances, and I don't necessarily know if you're going to put her in a fight against like the champion or whatever, because I think she'd get her ass kicked.
I think she wants to go have a family, bro.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think she's done with the UFC. Plus, it kind of ruined her life for a couple of years, so I don't think she'd necessarily go back to that.
Yeah.
A little different than Brock.
Hall of
Brock got
Famer,
hurt.
yeah.
That's the difference. Brock got hurt,
And then
so
he got
it's-
hit in the stomach multiple times.
Yeah, but so. Yeah, I like those fights. Everybody came up with good fights. That's why I want to do the segment. Kind
By
of
the
get it
way,
out there.
let me ask you a question.
What's up?
What the hell happened to Anderson Silva?
Oh, yeah.
That was a fantastic fight. Israel Adesanya versus Anderson Silva this past weekend. I did stream the main event only.
Right.
But it was they have very similar styles. They're kind of funny. They're entertaining in the
Yeah,
ring.
he was a fan. He was a fan of Anderson
Silva. It seemed like was putting on more of a performance than actually trying to win the fight. I don't think he cares about wins and losses anymore.
He just wants to make money.
He at some points put his arms down behind his back and took punches to the face.
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them.
That's the.
That is
And so
dumb.
He essentially was going for a knockout the whole fight. We remember the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight where Deontay Wilder was just going for one big shot. Anderson Silva wasn't doing that, but he was kind of hoping that he'd knock him out or he was going to lose. There was no, let me try to put him on the ground or anything. There was 2 strikers. Israel Adesanya is undefeated in the UFC, one of the most popular, entertaining fighters right now. I forget what weight class he is, but He should be getting a title shot sooner rather than later. Also, to talk about that same pay-per-view, we talked about Robert Whittaker earlier. Whittaker unfortunately had a hernia.
Hernia, that's
And
what it is.
What in the world happened here?
I believe I'm
Now I
trying.
definitely think he was at the buffet. too
Dana
much.
Dana White.
He's middleweight. Israel is middleweight.
So so essentially that was to see who would face Robert Whittaker again. I want to see. Yeah, he had surgery the night of the fight. So it was a legitimate injury. It wasn't like he pulled out.
I want to ask you a question. too.
Hold on, let me just explain this disgusting details. Apparently, his intestine and something else fell out of his stomach.
What?
Fell out of his stomach.
Oh,
He had to have
man.
emergency. He would have died. He would have got hit. He would have died.
Yeah.
He would have got hit in the stomach. He would have died. 100%.
So let me.
We talk about diverticulitis. This was instant like death. If they would it would have kicked his liver like back into his ass or something.
Oh my God.
God.
Jeez.
So I told you.
Damn, you have to go into
Podcast
graphic
name.
detail.
Podcast name. Liver and ass.
Might be a little too hard to put that as a name, but I love it. Yeah.
Liver and a hole.
What were you asked before I
Look,
unfortunately said
the
that?
The question is, I saw you put up on Twitter this weekend.
I was wrong. Though.
about how like I was about to criticize you because I was like, the man can't help if he's got an injury, like
brutal, yeah.
like if like I could see if he was out there doing something stupid, then you find him. But I think what UFC does need to do is they need to build up these fights a little bit more on the card. So basically, you have a main event. And then you have what could be a potential main event. So we've seen this a lot. Okay, well, this person didn't pass the drug test, so they're automatically out. This person got injured, so they're automatically out. This person's got a major illness or a death in the family, so this person's out. So we can move this card, like a fight that we could see being the main event, which is not the main event. We can move that up to the main, to being the main event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think what they need to do is they need to stack up these cards more. It's why the UFC buys go up and down, up and down, up and down, because a lot of people look at the overall card too.
Yeah, I mean this Adesanya Anderson Silva fight was actually the more popular one going in than Whittaker versus Gastelum for the title.
Right.
So this was actually a pretty well booked fight, and that's why the fans in Australia still sold out the building, and people still went to go actually watch this Silva Adesanya fight. So they actually did that in this case. But you're right. It almost needs to be like you need to be almost stacking two main events no matter what on every card and possibly a third, like UFC 235. If UFC 235 falls through, let's say John Jones's fight falls through, you still have Tyron Woodley defending his title for the first time in a while, and the debut of Ben Askren.
When's UFC 235 again?
This
in
is
March.
early March. Whenever the first Saturday of March
2nd of
is.
March.
Okay.
Yeah.
So John Jones, stay clean out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the end of it. but
Question
yeah.
also. So UFC on ESPN, like is all of those fights on ESPN, right?
Well, okay. So what happened? It's very random the way they
Yeah.
do it. It's Couture. That first pay-per-view on ESPN Plus was a special. You're not going to see Dillashaw versus Cejudo a super fight on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is kind of like a fight night FS1 card. And so that's what that is. ESPN is generally showing the what is it? The prelims. And ESPN Plus is more of like I went on ESPN Plus because I have the account, and the day after the pay-per-view is up. Almost like a WWE Network type of stuff.
Oh, so the whole pay-per-view
let's
is
say
there.
you missed it and somehow didn't know what happened, you actually could watch the entire pay-per-view if you wanted to. That's the advantage.
Yeah.
But these fights,
Makes
you
sense.
still have to buy them on pay-per-view to see them live.
Yeah.
For like 60, 70
The
bucks.
next one coming up, this one's going to be ESPN Plus and Ngannou versus
No,
Velasquez.
see, you're wrong.
That's
it's
on
actually on
ESPN.
ESPN.
That
Oh.
whole
Yeah.
card is when is it?
It's I think it's a Saturday. It's
Oh,
it's
wow.
in
February
Ngannou. It's in Ngannou
17th.
versus Cain Velasquez.
Cain Velasquez,
Oh
my
my
homie.
God.
Yeah.
The homie, yeah.
It's a
Oh,
fantastic
man.
fight. I know. I love both those guys.
Forget
too.
the dunk contest. I'm watching that.
I forgot the NBA All-Star
Dunk
games,
contest sucks, and it's going to be in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Dunk
go.
contest sucks. 3-point contest looks entertaining.
Bunch
though.
of Thatinas in Charlotte.
Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. See, like for example, I'm showing you on the thing.
What time is
they
it?
have like McGregor versus all these pay-per-views from the past on here too, and they did have the Whittaker one, Adesanya versus Silva. They
What
changed the name.
time is the that ESPN card happening?
I'm sure it starts at 7, like
Yeah,
normal
7.
pay-per-views. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 or 7:30 around there. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can just access it straight.
Yeah,
from
only
the
$5
site.
ESPN Plus. Not to
$5.
give too much promotion to ESPN Plus, but
They're
nonetheless.
Disney. They have enough promotion.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
They got enough money.
All right, so we're going to my segment right here,
Okay.
and I wanted to ask you guys. You know, I thought about doing something about the All-Star game, but it's not
Because
the
I'm from
entertainment.
Charlotte.
It's no, not
Because
necessarily.
you thought about doing it because it's in Charlotte.
Not, I keep forgetting it's in Charlotte, to be honest. But it's just not that
Because nobody
entertaining.
cares about
Yeah,
Charlotte
nobody
except
does.
my dad. He says it's a world class city, and we get him on that every single
I can
time.
only imagine.
Does he think Anaheim's a world-class city too?
No,
Okay. I'm just
make sure
wondering.
you bleep that out.
I will.
Okay.
I will. Mark the time. What's the time?
1 hour and 9 minutes.
Okay. So I wanted to actually go and ask you guys, mainly RKJ, man, are you guys interested at all in these competing football leagues with the NFL? Because the AAF,
Oh yeah.
the Alliance of American Football, just started, and they got higher ratings than the NBA on ABC this weekend, the opening game. But the rest of the games had poor attendance and not very good ratings. We also heard that the XFL assigned its first coach and GM, Bob Stoops, former Oklahoma Sooners coach. So
I thought he wasn't going to be in
do we
football
think
anymore.
these leagues actually have a chance for the long run, or does it just do they just kind of seem like minor league sports?
It, it might.
Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, sorry about that. It might have an overall advantage in the first few weeks or first few months, but I think it might die down within the next few months later on, and then the NFL will reign supreme. That's what I think.
I mean, you come around draft time, nobody's watching the AAF. I'll just tell you that right now. Nobody's watching. On those draft days, you gotta have the season over.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna
Yeah.
watch those games.
I think the reason why AAF did so well last week was because people were still in that football on Sunday
I
thing,
was, yeah.
that syndrome thing. So you watched it, right, Nick?
I watched a little bit of the first game. I saw Berkovici
did-
get his.
Did
get
they
his
have
head
two
knocked.
games? Did they have a doubleheader? Or?
No. They had one game. It was San Antonio versus San Diego. San Diego plays in Qualcomm. They haven't played in Qualcomm yet, so San Diego has a football team technically again.
Okay.
And I
Nobody
taped
cares.
the Arizona Hot Shots game because
Where was that game on?
We're
CBS
Arizona Cardinals
Sports?
fans, so we wanted to see who was playing. CBS Sports and NFL Network.
Okay.
Yeah, most of these games I believe will not be on CBS. They're going to be on these secondary networks.
They need to put them on CBS if they want to get ratings.
Well, I
like that's just common sense.
I know, and there was a quarterback for Arizona's team that looked
Yeah.
really, really good, and a lot of these guys probably will have NFL chances after, but I don't think people care about that much. I think people care about
Yeah.
the entertainment of the sport.
It's kind of like, for me, like in the world of soccer, it's kind of like seeing Liga MX, the Mexican league. To be honest, I really don't care.
Do you like MLS before the?
I actually
that league?
prefer MLS and
Wow.
the web.
Eric, me and you got to go to a Galaxy.
Yes.
You were the
We gotta
first
go to
soccer
Galaxy
fan that
game.
I've heard that ever said the MLS is good.
If you
You're
follow
the-
a team,
it's-
if you I follow the Galaxy, and I try to pay attention to them as much as I don't pay attention to them as much as I say even like the Clippers, but the ML. I went to a couple games last year. I got some good friends that are big Galaxy
Right.
fans, and if you go to watch the games and you get behind the team, it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, LA
it's fun to
Galaxy.
watch.
My sister went to LAFC game, and she said that, oh yeah, even those guys are even more like hardcore LAFC.
LAFC, yeah, they had an early reputation of having some crazy fans, and they
Yeah.
have a stack team because they kind of created it out of nothing. But the Galaxy still have kind of the more the
loyal fans.
better
Yeah.
presence in LA.
So,
Yeah. Kind of get on soccer. That was
well, yeah.
It's more, I
look,
think it's more comparison.
next random
yeah.
segment.
Look,
Yeah, it's
the-
random as hell.
The thing I'm thinking about, who do I think is going to be the better league, right? That's what you're kind of asking me here.
In a way, I just do we think these leagues, both of them, will do better than the old XFL,
I think
or what was the other league that
the
had the Sacramento team?
USFL. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you said US. I think XFL could possibly do better because they're getting some legitimate presence around it. They've got Andrew Luck's dead. They've got that built-in wrestling audience. I know it's
Yeah.
but they've got that audience who's going to support Vince McMahon wherever he goes or whatever he does. They're going to support him. You know what I'm saying? We're going to support him.
I agree.
So I think the XFL has a better reputation. Also, the XFL is possibly going to strike up a deal. It was rumored that they could strike up a deal with Turner. So,
Dude,
If
how insane
hold
would
on,
that
let
be?
me.
Okay,
Well, hold on.
yeah,
I
sorry,
I got a theory here. So I know it all connects, Nick. This is what I was been teasing you about. So Vince McMahon goes to the Turner with the XFL, and they give him, and he gets the XFL from Turner. Guess what? In the process, he does. Guess who he blocks out?
Dude,
He
tell
blocks
me.
out AEW. He blocks them out. So that's the reason why he probably would want to go
Yeah.
to Turner. That's the smartest way of thinking about it. You go to Turner, you block out AEW. You block out your competition. Then you can focus on the NFL. You don't have to worry about AEW. It's the smartest route to go. You got to go with that, man. But anyway, I think Vince McMahon and them, I also want to see what type of players they get in the XFL. They got a huge signing with Bob Stoops. I was not expecting Bob Stoops to be
Neither
coaching
was
again.
I.
I thought he was done with coaching. So if they can get a few more coaches and players, like some big-time players in the XFL, I think they got a potential to have a big opening season, which is only a year away now. So they got to hurry up, you know?
Yeah, next season. But the AAF progressed pretty quickly too. I don't think the XFL will have too much problem. It seems like this announcement of the first head coach comes on the weekend after the Super Bowl. That's calculated. That's on purpose. And I think soon they already probably are in negotiations with a lot of coaches because there's a lot of football coaches out there.
But I think people also, Nick, are also tired of the NFL and just the BS that
I
they
agree.
provide. I think
Yeah.
that Super Bowl, I think everybody was like over it in that Super Bowl. And it was one of the most least watched Super Bowls in NFL history.
True, yeah.
So, obviously you had a whole bunch of things going on. People boycotting because of Colin Kaepernick. People in New Orleans boycotting because rightfully they should have after watching that Super Bowl. They should have been in the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I think people are more willing to give these other football leagues a shot. But if AAF is not putting on games on CBS every single weekend, like a main network where people are used to tuning into a main network, then you're not going to get these leagues, surviving for too much longer. I think maybe there's fear that, hey, we put them on there and NFL sees them as competition. We don't want them on the main network, but I don't see why you can't find a way to get them on your main network if you're looking for some content on your Sunday shows. Now that the NFL's done, like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I do think that it will give enough exposure to NFL like quality players that people will watch. If there was a rumor that came around yesterday that would end up being fake, that Jamarcus Russell had signed with a team.
He needs to sign with somebody.
I want to see Johnny Manziel. I want to see all these guys.
Tim Tebow.
Maybe even the Colin Kaepernick. I'm just saying.
I would I think Colin Kaepernick being signed, but then that would
XFL.
instantly challenges Vince McMahon. That instantly challenged Vince McMahon because he said, hey, I don't want anybody doing any kneeling or protesting. Colin Kaepernick, he's doing that the first time he gets on that field. But I think if they do that, think about how much support they would get
Holy hell.
from everybody who supported the Colin Kaepernick movement.
Yeah.
Think about how much support, how much more money that they're going to get, the merchandise that they're going to get. It has to be a strategic move. If Vince wants to be a competitor to the NFL, just like AEW is trying to be a competitor to his WWE, he's got to go after some people who's going to cause a little bit of controversy. Controversy creates cash, in the words of Eric Bischoff. It just makes sense.
It does.
Makes sense.
It makes sense, y'all.
All right, let's get to Elimination Chamber. That was a good segment.
Yeah, do this fast.
Kind of came out of nothing, but that was a good segment. All right, Elimination Chamber. Like I said, SmackDown starts. We're here recording at 3:30 Pacific time on Tuesday, so it hasn't even started yet. So there could be matches announced. Looking at it, maybe U.S. title with R-Truth. Something like that, possibly. As far as the SmackDown matches already announced, you have Shane McMahon and The Miz versus the Usos. You have, of course, the Elimination Chamber match, which I'm really excited about. And then also you have the tag team women in there, too. So maybe not that much. So we'll predict it. We're not going to do the official standings. I did, by the way, want to bring up our Royal Rumble standings that I forgot to announce.
Oh, okay.
The other day. I did calculate them, and I wanted to say who ended up being the winner. The winner of the Royal Rumble standings, or the Royal Rumble picks, which I think we already knew was the RKJ man. He got 9 things right. We bet a lot. To explain what you got right, you correctly predicted Daniel Bryan winning the WWE Championship match against AJ Styles. You correctly predicted Asuka beating Becky Lynch. You got Ronda Rousey beating Sasha Banks right. The Miz and Shane defeating The Bar. Buddy Murphy. You also got correct as far as the Royal Rumble matches. Becky Lynch winning. You were the only one who picked that.
Yeah, I said that was
You
gonna
did
win.
have both Charlotte and Becky in the finals. You got that completely right as well for the women.
Oh man, Blackstradamus was on point that
you
night.
did, you did get
was...
Tessa Blanchard was wrong, and I thought that was going to be wrong too. I think you should have gone safer.
Way out there.
I saw her
but he won anyway,
wrestling,
so who cares?
Right.
And then you also got Seth Rollins right being one of the final two.
I thought at the end I didn't pick him. I thought I switched it to.
And you also picked him.
Braun
You
Strowman.
also picked him to win, and you got that right too.
I thought I switched to Braun Strowman, but
Take it for what it is.
Blackstradamus. That's all I'm gonna say.
So very interesting. But Eric, you were second, 8.
Really?
Very close. And
Just
then I was measly sixth. I did horrible.
Would have been a tie.
I got the demon right or whatever that was. But,
Well, I said that.
no, I
there was
didn't know.
nothing-
Actually, I said he was gonna be a demon. I got that one wrong too.
To me, there was
Wait a
not
minute,
going to be no
I got
demon.
that wrong. I said he was
No
gonna
demon.
be.
Yeah, man, I said Becky Lynch was gonna win the women's championship.
That was so off.
I said the Bar was winning the tag team titles.
And you said Ember Moon was going to win the Royal
I
Rumble?
switched it. I said Carmella, which is wrong.
Oh,
too.
yeah, at the very end. I
I
couldn't
did
catch
say Charlotte. I
that.
got Charlotte. We all got Charlotte right. We all picked Charlotte.
To be the final two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was actually excited because when Becky wasn't in it, she was injured or whatever. I was like, oh, Charlotte's gonna win it. I got one on right.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
And then Ryan won.
Kenny Omega did not show up at the Royal Rumble. Too,
No,
like
he
No,
showed up
he
at
did not show.
AEW.
Yeah, 100% wrong. Yeah, my guy Drew McIntyre got eliminated.
By the
real
way, did you
quick.
guys watch
Yeah.
my Kenny Omega shoot I sent y'all?
I
Big
watched
Ten?
like an hour and 30 minutes.
Really
of it.
good, isn't
Very
it?
interesting.
Watch it.
Very interesting. Did you actually watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it.
I'm
He's
a
a
kid.
very, very nice guy, it seems
No,
like.
he is.
And I think eventually he'll be in WWE. That's my prediction.
Not yet.
Yeah. He says he wants to. He was actually in OVW at one point too.
Yeah.
And so he just didn't necessarily like the management there, and he kind of blasted.
He wanted to go
Jim
to
Cornette.
Japan.
He blasted Jim Cornette and Bill Watts.
He just wanted to go to Japan,
Which is
y'all.
good. Yeah,
he just
he-
wanted to go to Japan.
Yeah,
Well, Jim Cornette, you can. It's no surprise.
Hey
with
man,
Jim
I hope
Cornette.
if I see Jim Cornette, man, I'm gonna dap him up. I was like,
Hey man,
I'ma
Jim
dap him up.
Jim Cornette. I love Jim Cornette because he slaps Santino Marella right in the face. Okay.
He's a passionate.
Can
We
you
got it.
imagine
Yeah.
seeing that in the back, seeing Santino get slapped as hard as he can
At
by Jim
WrestleCon,
Cornette?
I'll bark out.
Oh,
I'll bark out.
yeah. I'll try to interview Jim Cornette just to get a soundbite of his voice.
of his verbal.
7 Up,
language,
7
yeah.
Up's better than Sprite. Whatever it is, whatever. He likes Sprite better. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Just make sure you ask
we'll
him
get
about what
him.
happened at Wendy's.
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna bring him a bacon cheeseburger.
All right,
Like,
so
yeah.
there's a couple matches we're not going to really go. I mean, Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. I don't know where that's going. That just kind of seems like the end of a rivalry that's not,
Where'd that
not
come
much.
from? Oh well.
Nobody cares about that match.
You got Rousey and Ruby Riott. I think we all assume Rousey's just going to win. This is obviously it's you know.
Oh yeah, Ruby Riott is gonna go over.
Buddy
like, this
Murphy
makes no sense.
Exactly. Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa. Who cares? To be honest,
Nah,
Buddy
Murphy's
Murphy
gonna
probably
Nah, they've been
wins.
delivering some great matches on 205 Live, but yeah,
Great
Buddy
matches,
Murphy
but
winning.
storyline wise, yeah.
Shout out to Alexa's husband.
But so we'll go with these 4 matches. We'll kind of go over these.
Yeah, real quick.
Because I think there's some stuff that could happen after this. Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship.
Where'd that come from?
Does Finn Balor win this match? And maybe does this create a big storyline for him going into WrestleMania with a title, at least?
I'm gonna have to go with Bobby Lashley on this one. I think Bobby Lashley.
And Leo
They're gonna
Rush.
keep the title because thanks to Leo Rush, that little guy is gonna do whatever he can to keep that title around Bobby's waist, and Finn Balor. They're gonna find something else for him to do.
I think Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush are winning too because I think this is leading eventually towards an Undertaker Finn Balor match at WrestleMania with the Demon involved. Because I think what is going to happen is he's going to have to realize that in order for him to be, in order to develop something that's going to be something special, he's going to have to become the Demon.
Imagine
Finn
there's like no
Balor.
demon at the last minute.
If there's no Demon,
At the last minute.
you don't want to see what the RKJ Man's going to do at WrestleMania. Let's just say that.
Flat drunk.
I am going to go with Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush with the help of actual outside forces. I don't know what it's going to be. I have some ideas. Undertaker could be one. But I'm going to say somebody else screws over Finn Balor rather than Bobby Lashley or Leo Rush.
Didn't Baron Corbin align himself with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre? Do Do you really think that?
Could that be a
No,
little
no, I'm not
stable
talking. I'm
group
not talking
that's
about those. I'm talking about someone we haven't seen in a while.
Oh, okay.
So someone like the Undertaker. I'm not going to say names because I want to see it happen. I don't want to project it and then be completely wrong. Sorry, but so I'm going to go Finn Balor loses as well, but I'm going to go outside forces are a reason he loses, and it'll be good. It'll be a good spot on the show.
Okay.
Okay, The Miz and Shane McMahon versus the Usos. I'll predict this one first. I think Miz and Shane McMahon go over, but this is going to be a fantastic match. I love the Usos. I'm glad they have a title shot. I kind of wish this was the WrestleMania match. It still could be, but there's a long way. I'm going to go with Miz and Shane win this match, though.
I'm going with the Usos here. I got to pick something different from you guys, and I think this could be the breakup between Miz and Shane that leads to WrestleMania.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Miz and Shane. There isn't that much steam into this storyline, but yeah, with those two guys, yeah, I can't expect anything else.
Okay, and then so do you guys want to do the WWE Championship match right now, or the
Save that for
the
last.
women's tag? Okay, so women's tag team title match. Let me just say the names: Nia Jax and Tamina,
Yeah.
the Riot Squad, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, the Iconics, Bayley and Sasha, Naomi and Carmella. I don't know how Naomi and Carmella are a tag team in this, to be honest. 'Cause
Apparently
I only
the-
watched parts of SmackDown.
They're
Yeah,
the Fabulous Glow, which is actually kind of a cool name. That's
Well,
actually a dope
oh,
name.
yeah.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's good.
They deserve
Okay,
each other.
so who do we think wins this match and wins the first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Championships?
I'm gonna have to go with Nick's favorite team, the Iconics. Even though they're
Damn
annoying.
it, Eric.
Incorrect. They are my least favorite team. It's a wrong statement.
They're annoying, but they're hot.
I'm gonna go with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I think I might have actually already said this in the podcast. Maybe I said it before, but I think they've been propped up via storyline with Naomi a little bit, and I think WWE wants to push Mandy Rose. So I'm gonna go Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Hey,
Okay.
you said the Iconics. I don't care what you think.
I
Eric.
know. Shut up.
Well, I'm going to go different from you guys. I know it's kind of weird. I know she's been suffering through injury, but I just think this is just destined for them to win it. Sasha Banks and Bayley win the championship at Elimination Chamber.
They are first.
And I know, but
Yeah.
like this is just a classic storyline for them to just be there at the very end and overcome and win it. And they go on to have a major feud sometime in the future. If they don't get split up in the Bland Spirit. But we got to get it eventually. They got to be
Yeah.
tag team champions
I think
first.
Bayley and Sasha could break up during this match. I think that's actually what's going to happen, at least in my mind.
Mm.
I'm also excited to see. I shouldn't say that. I just shouldn't say it.
What?
Nia and Tamina stuck in a pod together. Does that dynamic work?
I just,
Well-
I personally think they're only there because Nia Jax, honestly, with creative, they're booking her to be a monster.
Nia
right
Jax
now.
going to put someone through the glass.
And
this
to
week.
give her
Yeah.
credit,
Yeah.
because I do bash on Nia Jax a lot.
Yeah, you do.
She's on another level right now with her heelness right now.
Yeah.
And what she's doing right now with Dean Ambrose and the whole
that didn't make any sense.
the R-Truth thing and all this stuff and what she's doing on social media, all the haters has been pretty good. So I got to give her credit for that. I don't like Nia Jax.
Hey,
in
we're
terms of her
supposed to not
re-
like her. She's a heel.
and her
Yeah.
wrestling ability, but I don't bash a person, but what she's doing as a character, really top notch. So, but
Yeah.
they're not winning that match. They might get eliminated first, as a matter of fact. Nia Jax always underachieves.
Well, I think because in this match, it's just one guy has to get pinned, right, to be eliminated.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Normally, in most tag team
they're
matches,
gonna have
it's
to
one
clear
guy.
up the rules so much because this could be a disaster.
There's one thing about WWE, it's you never know what's going to happen because you don't actually know the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like traveling in the NBA. You don't know when it's going to get called.
Yeah.
Tamina, I think gets pinned in that match. for
Yeah,
that tag
yeah,
team.
she's
I
always
don't
taking
think
she's
Nia-
always taking the fall in those matches.
But
Last
still-
matchup, which
last matchup, I am extremely excited about this.
by the way, Nick, I heard Mustafa Ali may not be in this match
for what reason?
for a concussion. So
Who did it? Randy Orton?
I don't know, but
House show?
no, yeah, it was at a house show. It was a
Ah,
mistake.
thought
So I
so.
heard that it could be Andrade or Rey Mysterio.
I'm surprised Rey Mysterio and Andrade aren't having a match at Elimination.
Yeah.
Well, that's
to
because they're saving this thing for WrestleMania.
They should.
I know they should.
I think they should get. I think they should get real personal with
first
it.
encounter was
I think they
pretty
should
good.
get absolutely real personal with it, and I think this could be the absolute show-stealing match.
20 to 25 minutes at
anything with
WrestleMania.
Rey Mysterio, I am down for.
Go
okay,
for
Rey
it, yeah.
Mysterio is my favorite wrestler in the WWE right now. So,
Yes.
he is my
But
guy.
maybe he's meant for Daniel Bryan.
So I didn't think Mustafa Ali was going to win anyways, to be honest. So that might not matter, and I think an injecting person probably won't win either. But we'll go. This is a 6-man Elimination Chamber match, obviously, for the WWE Championship. Champion Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and the 6th participant, whether it be Mustafa Ali, Andrade, Rey Mysterio, whoever else they put in that match. So, Arca J-Man, you actually go first on this one. Who do you think is going to win the WWE Championship or retain the WWE Championship?
He's on a roll right now. You got to keep it with him. Daniel Bryan. We got to see it. We got to see something big at WrestleMania. I have no clue what they're doing with Daniel Bryan going into WrestleMania. All I know is he's got to be the champion going into WrestleMania. He's going to find a way, whether it's through Eric Rowan, maybe Luke Harper joins him. But, you know, he's going to find a way to keep this championship at Elimination Chamber.
I can see his group growing by the minute. So I'm gonna do, as much as I love Samoa Joe, I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan winning.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I actually think that Daniel Bryan's winning this match too because you don't give a guy a new title if he loses it like 3 weeks later. I'm just saying, you look at the guys, the past, who changed
that
the title.
belt is so weird.
It's such a dumb belt.
I don't know what's going on.
It's a
I
dumb
hate that
belt. It's a dumb belt, but it goes perfectly with his character.
Yeah.
I can't.
Shout out to all those people who said that you could smoke the belt.
Yeah. Even AJ Styles said
I
smoke.
think
Did
we're
you
gonna
smoke?
I think we're gonna see the WrestleMania people smoking blunts with WrestleMania belts around it. I think we're gonna see it.
I know. So I'm reading right here. It says that Mustafa Ali. There's supposed to be a gauntlet match tonight on SmackDown.
Yes.
And so
How they gonna make it work?
again, this will have already happened when we're talking about it. So we'll see who. If Ali's in that match, obviously, then he probably will wrestle Elimination Chamber. I can't imagine them putting him in a match if he has a concussion. If he's gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Or they could do something where he gets attacked by somebody like Samoa Joe,
exactly.
and that takes him out in that night.
That would
and
make
his
sense.
status
But
is in
yeah,
air.
they said that the spot could be taken by Rey Mysterio, Andrade, Nakamura, or Rusev. One of those 4.
I mean, if you want to build somebody's character up, Rusev will be great, but it's not going to happen.
Rusev will be great. I say with the hell of it, put R-Truth in the match.
R-Truth.
Put R-Truth in the Elimination
Hey man,
Chamber.
Truth looks great with those photos at the United States Championship.
I like it, dude.
Yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah, man.
R-Truth is super over. Why not put him in there? Put the 2 tag team kind of combatants of Carmella and R-Truth in the Elimination Chamber together. It works out. I don't
makes
want to
sense.
see. I don't want to see rivalries kind of put on hold because one guy goes into a match. I don't know. I don't know who hurt Mustafa Ali as well. Might have been his own doing, but there's no note on who is physical or who is stiff in that match.
Yeah, sometimes they can be reckless. Wrestlers can be reckless.
That's why people play it safe on the road to WrestleMania.
True.
Yeah.
And house shows.
Ask Seth Rollins about that.
Watch
Yeah,
yourselves, my friends.
Man, Nick, all I was going to say is this. As soon as I heard Seth Rollins got injured and is going to be out for a month, only doing promos, I was like,
We'll explain that
that's
situation
another...
real quick before we end the podcast.
Well, all I know is he got injured at I don't know, it was a house show or maybe because of Brock Lesnar at 5. Something happened and he's going to be out for an entire month of wrestling. Now, he still can do promos so that can continue the feud, which might be good, but like right now, if they're trying to build up Seth Rollins to be this main guy, it's not really working out very well because he's getting injured.
I'm going to have to look at that video.
Vince McMahon had to talk about it on the conference call.
I'm going to have to look at that video of Brock F5ing Seth. I think maybe Seth might have landed wrong, so I'm going to have to check that out.
Well, Brock's always been kind of stiff and kind of like...
That's because Brock doesn't care.
Yeah, like you should be prepared for that. I don't know, man. If Seth Rollins is going to be your new champion in the company, you don't need a dude who's injury prone. Like, we got a guy out right now battling leukemia. Seth Rollins is injury prone. We got other people. We don't really need that. They don't really have a superstar. John Cena's doing movies. They don't really have anybody. So that's why we're really investing in this Becky Lynch situation.
I agree, yeah.
But we got to get to the end of this podcast. Let's do the plugs, y'all.
Let's do it. Eric, plug it.
So check us out on the Ring Generals at Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram. But for me, check me out on Facebook at Eric Santos. Check me out at Eric underscore Santos underscore 9 on Instagram. OC Rock Radio Slam Saturday. Apparently, looks like we're going to be back this Saturday with some new equipment. So, Nick, please update me on some of the things. I will. Hopefully, I will do my best to come tomorrow and check out the equipment and how you do it for your Cover 2 podcast in order for me to do my show. Yes, so Slam Saturday, we'll give you some more details about it. Slam Saturday, we'll be back 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., hopefully. The Video Game Cafe will be also resuming because right now I've been playing a little bit of Resident Evil 2. Check me out on the Video Game Cafe on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook at the Video Game Cafe. Hopefully we get to play some more Resident Evil 2. Hopefully I don't run into Mr. X again.
All right, so to go back to our own social media for the Ring Generals, Instagram is at the Ring Generals, all lowercase. Twitter is at Ring Generals 1, the number, and the 2 letters at the beginning of the words are capitalized, so R and G are capitalized, so Ring Generals 1. Of course, look us up on Facebook, type in the Ring Generals, it should be the only Facebook page. There's no other that should show up. As far as mine goes, everything's at Nick Nenad, lowercase. And of course, Cover 2 Podcast will be coming out probably right after I release this podcast.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning. So listen,
double duty.
Listen to that and listen to, of course, this Ring Generals podcast. We'll be talking about whatever tomorrow. I don't even know 100% what we're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah,
probably some NBA stuff.
It's probably dead right now.
But yeah, and then of course Eric's Invisible Twitter account as well.
Yeah.
Should be at Invisible.
Invisible.
That's
so I'm not going to give out my personal social media because I want to promote the Ring Journals. So you heard it here, the Ring Journals. Like it, subscribe it, Instagram. Also, please support the page on YouTube. Tap the bell for notifications.
True.
Because we deliver some great content. Also on SoundCloud as well. Just follow us on our dreams and follow us on the road to WrestleMania.
Comment, subscribe,
because
all that good stuff.
We're gonna have to do some special things up in WrestleMania.
Facebook Live, Instagram Live, doesn't matter.
Some vlogs, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going all out. This might be one of those things where I just get completely drunk and say something I probably shouldn't say, get kicked off the get calls from everybody.
Yeah.
That text message might be real the next time. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna have a great time. Thank you for all those who have liked us, whether it be on our social media pages or YouTube or SoundCloud. But at the end of the day, whether you're looking for those flowers on Valentine's Day, or whether you're on the way to go meet your Valentine, or whether you're watching great wrestling,
or going to WrestleMania with us.
Raise a glass in the sky and salute the Ring Generals.